Thank you, Beatrix. I'd like to start by sharing a short story. So King Robert Bruce was King of Scotland, and he ruled Scotland from 1306 till 1329. During that time, England defeated Scotland. Robert Bruce had to flee, jumped into a cave, and he's hid there and contemplated life in this cave, wondering what's next. And during that time, he looked on the wall, and there was a spider crawling up this cobweb. And the spider crawled up, fell, and eventually made it up to the web. And King Robert Bruce thought, I'm inspired. He gathered his troops, waged war in England, and won, and ruled until he died. And that is just one example of a small story which explains that fortune favors the bold. My name is Anouk. I'm here to share my personal story with you of my life as a former entrepreneur. So I'm not selling anything, I'm not looking to launch a business, but this is my story from my past and sort of what brings me here in the spotlight. Life has been kind to me. I've been very fortunate. I've lived in different cities. I'm born in Pakistan. I've lived in Egypt, lived in London half my life. So actually London is my home. I graduated from college, did well, and I joined banking, which at the time was the thing to do. And I thought, great, I'm set. Joined a North American bank. And it looked like it would be a fantastic career. And things were great. It was the bull market, so everything was, big money, big dollars, lots of fun. And it was all right. I managed to survive all the ups and downs, the internet .com crash, 9/11, etc., etc. And then I hit a point where things were good, things were comfortable, but for me, I like to be uncomfortable. Sorry, Doug. And then I thought, well, what's next for me? Where do I go from here? Things are not moving where I need them to move. What do I need to do? And then 2008, Lehman's collapsed. And I had an opportunity, just out of the blue, to join a smaller company and move to this glitzy desert, Vegas in the sun, Vegas in the Middle East, called Dubai. And I thought, oh no. And I bet all of you are thinking, is she nuts? London, rain, Dubai, desert, beach, sunshine, 360 days of the year. But actually I didn't want to go. So for me to move myself from the city that I loved, that I really didn't want to leave, was a huge step. But I thought, you know what? Take a risk, be bold, do something different, and things will change for me personally and professionally. So I did it. I went at the worst time, actually. So the world had changed, and I landed in this desert city where nothing really functioned. But I made things work, and the work was exciting. We were setting up a new business. I got to do lots of interesting things. Sales, marketing, operations, legal, accounting. There were just two of us, so you had to do everything hands-on. I made friends. Guess what? Beach was easy. Friday on the beach. Every night you're out there, bars, drinks, sunset lounges. I mean, things were good. Just 4 months of horrible summer, but otherwise life was good. A year later, though, the business was small, and I hit a brick wall again and decided that I would take a biggest risk ever, was to leave what I was doing and do something on my own in a place where if you're not employed, you essentially cannot live there. So it was a big move for me, and I did it. I set up my own consultancy in a completely different sector, and I ran out of time. It was great to be here. I hope some of that story made sense. And if I have another 5 minutes, I'll complete it again. Thank you.
So I'm going to put this mic down because it's confusing me. Okay, so thank you so much. The bit that I missed out on, being a little bit nervous, is that what's going to happen next when a speaker finishes. So we've got two judges who are going to give feedback to the person who has spoken. And they're going to look for specific things. So what I'm going to get them to do, a little bit late, but still better than never, is tell us what they're looking for. So I would like to go with Doug first, if that's okay. So if you would like to stand up and tell the audience as well what you're looking for in the talks, and then give feedback to Anouk, please.
First of all, I thought you did a great job, hey?
Thank you.
You know what? Again, I think when we're speaking, we need to understand, I guess, sort of what our objectives are. And a couple things that I really liked. First, maybe the like stuff, is that story at the beginning. To me, very inspirational, okay? But where I see it lacked is I didn't really see exactly how that connected to the rest of what you were talking about. And I guess just a few things that I think could have made this super powerful is even a setup to that story. And there's two ways that I've seen people do that. One is to begin with questions. How many have ever felt like they've had adversity in their life? How many have ever, see, I'm engaging them. It's called, the technical term is called an invitation to come and play. So she does, how many feel like they've had adversity? How many have ever struggled against something? Well, let me tell you the story of King Robert Bruce. You get what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden you're like, I get the context of where this is going. I've got 30 seconds left. The other thing I'm going to share is find not just a story to tell about I was here in Dubai, I could have been there, I could have been this. Find 3 points, stick to 3 points. So in other words, you don't have to say, dude, point number 1 is, right? But if you said after that story on adversity, you could say, I've had lots of adversity in my life. One of the things I've experienced is point 1, point 2, point 3, and then close it up. Instead of, I never ever say, I apologize everybody, I'm out of time, and yes, I have been in trouble because I always do this kind of shit where I go all the time, but I never apologize, I just now find a way to wrap it up. And the way to wrap it up is to always do an invitation, call to action. So whatever it could be brilliant. Remember I said that, everybody? That was maybe my conclusion. So find something that you can say that wraps it up in a way that everybody clearly knows you're done, instead of just kind of, well, I'm out of time. If I had 5 more minutes, I'd kind of do this thing, blah, blah, blah. Nobody knows you're really done yet, right? It's like a stand-up comedian. People want to know, is he done? Do I, right? So you got to give them a cue that's clearly you're done. Okay? But you did awesome. You did awesome.
Thank you.
Really good. Cool.
So, first of all, I think your voice is delicious. Would you agree? Like, she's got a really delicious voice. I didn't realize it was so delicious until you grabbed the mic and went, you had me at hello. Right? It was absolutely, so I think you can really learn to play with your voice, to enroll us. I think I was kind of going to go to the same line as Doug. What's in it for us as an audience? Always think about that. How are we going to get value? The other thing, so tell me, from when you did the training at Speak to Grow to getting up here, what do you think's really changed in you?
More confident, because I didn't write my speech, but I had something in my mind. I just didn't time it, but I felt I knew my story, I just had to speak from the heart.
So
and that's the training.
Absolutely, and I could see that. So you're a little bit like that spider. And I could see that's such a fitting story from you, from the girl I saw at Speak to Grow, the woman, I saw at Speak to Grow, to the woman standing here. It's great. I can see that spider that keeps going. What I want to see now from you is actually honoring the audience by practicing more, all right? And allowing yourself to get out the head and just allow yourself to be in flow, whatever happens. You might go wrong, you might not, but just allowing yourself to be present to what is coming out of your mouth. And then adding on top what Doug's done with your voice, you're going to have us all mesmerized. So, God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.